Hello, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be talking about this GSXR 1000 by Crescent, one of only 20 made. Okay, so some of you might not be familiar with what this is. It's actually a really rare and, in my opinion, very special bike. Those that know me know that I'm a bit of a sucker for a GSXR regardless, so it comes as no surprise that I really like this bike. I wasn't particularly familiar with them, if I'm being totally honest, until probably a couple of years ago. So, Crescent went racing in BSB with the GSXR 1000, K1/K2. I think technically it was a K2, and they had John Reynolds sign up to the team, who apparently, when trying out a GSXR 1000, said there's a lot of work to do. Subsequently, they actually did quite well, and they decided to make 20 replicas. I think at the time you could buy a Virgin Yamaha liveried R1, but spec-wise they were fairly close to standard. Crescent decided to do 20 of these, and the spec on this, this one is as they came. The spec is bloody awesome, really. So 2002, these would have set you back about £15,000 for what you see here, and then you could, on top of that, option more goodness. So we'll talk through the spec as they came, and then we'll touch on the extra options that you could have, which this one doesn't, and I'm not sure there'd be many with them, but we'll go through that. The most obvious thing is obviously this colour scheme. So they're all painted by Dream Machine, and they're all numbered on the tank, stating which number of the 20 made. So this one is number 6. I love this colour scheme. I think it's probably my favourite Rizzler colour scheme. I like the fact that it's got the white in it, just breaks it up a bit. The blue has got really nice pearl in it. This one is signed by John Reynolds, which is a nice touch. So onto the running gear, this is where these sort of get quite special. So we've got these gorgeous lightweight Oz wheels, front and back obviously. We've then got the Öhlins rear shock. We've got the Crescent adjustable rear sets. We've got the Yoshi hangers. We've got a different under tray on, different indicators obviously, number plate holder. There is around here, so we've got a Brembo race spec rear caliper and an adjustable torque arm and floating rear disc. So these were a lot more than just a paint job. Then at the front we've got Öhlins front forks, we've got the Öhlins steering damper. Again, we've got the Brembo race spec front calipers. I forget what they're called now. I think they're called GP calipers. We've got these nice billet caliper brackets, floating front disc again. And one of the few sort of drawbacks on the early GSXR 1000s was the front brake master cylinder. So we've got a Brembo brake master cylinder. They also came with a full Yoshimura exhaust system with a tri-oval race cam and a power commander that was mapped by Crescent. And I think that brings us to everything on here. Obviously they had crash bungs on, as you can see, and various other little bits and bobs. A double bubble screen, I think you could spec race clip-ons as well. This one's got standard. So as you can see, a lot more than just a paint scheme and maybe a shock or maybe an exhaust. I think the K3s, Crescent ones, I'm fairly sure I'm right in saying, they were paint scheme, exhaust, and I think that was it. Don't quote me on that, but if that wasn't it, there wasn't much more than that. So these were a lot more special, and like I say, only 20. So all of this, I think it equated to about 6 horsepower, maybe a bit more. Maybe it was 9 horsepower and about 6 kilo saving. So yeah, I think it was about 9 horsepower gain and around 6 kilo saving, which doesn't sound a huge amount, but it's enough to make a big difference. And the reviews on these, there wasn't many because they're so rare, but there is an MCN review. We've got one printed off. Maybe we'll drop that on the video here whilst I'm talking about it. And they say that the bike rides phenomenal and is so far different to a standard GSXR 1000. And on that MCN feature, they talk about the options that were available on this bike. So talking about the things that this bike hasn't got on it, you could option a BSB spec cylinder head, which I think, I'm right in saying, bit of flow work, bit of porting work, Yoshi cams, adjustable cam pulleys, different head gasket, and a manual cam chain tensioner. And you could also option a slipper clutch and a Yoshimura gearbox. And that got these up to, I think, around nearly 190 horsepower. And also around 20,000 pounds, maybe a touch more. So you've got to remember these figures, these stats, you know, in 2002, this is now 23, nearly 24 years old. Pretty insane numbers, really. You know, that price back then, huge, and the performance, massive. You know, the GSX-R 1000 in standard trim was one of the fastest bikes on the road at the time. So to then have such a huge jump in power, yeah, I'd love to find one with all of the spec on it. Gav, who is following me around with the camera, came up with a good point. We should start it for the camera. So we do know of one of these, which I've been talking to the owner for a number of months now. He hasn't ridden it in many years. It's just under 4,000 miles, and I'm told it is full spec. It's got all the extra options on it, all the engine work, the gearbox, etc., etc. Full spec bike. Now, I've seen some pictures. It is sat in a barn, and it has been for a number of years, but we're thinking of going and getting it. It's a long way, and we want to save it because it's a full spec bike. I don't actually know of any others that are full spec. So if you have one, reach out. Did you know what this model is before we started talking about it? Like I say, not that many people are familiar with it. And do you think we should go and get the barn find and document a restoration on it? Let us know. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.